It is my pleasure to bring you Raghav Mehta, who's a client of the Your Authentic Truth program. He's a day ahead in Australia.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate the opportunity and looking forward to sharing the story. It's been game-changing for me to be able to work with you over the last 8 weeks, and I've actually had a lot of fun. It's probably been in my mind for the last probably 12 months or so, thinking that, you know what, I've got everything ticked off in my life, all bits of what you'd call success, but there's something still missing inside.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the recognition for me at that point was to go, you know what, I do want more. I want more for myself. I want more for others, but I don't want to get it from the outside world. I don't want to be dependent on others. I want to get it from inside. And that's that decision. You know, Tony Robbins talks about the decisions. That's the decision that I made. I want more, and I want it from inside. So I became obsessed with Tony's work, and obsession's probably a light way of saying it, you know, but I'd be up watching his videos at 3 a.m. in the morning. You know, I'd wake up super early just to be able to learn the methods, his philosophy. And I did that for probably a good 3 months. And I then set the intention out to the universe to say, you know what, my next game changer for me, if I look at my strategy, is to actually be with Tony.
Tony Robbins.
Be with Tony. Tony Robbins, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but not to say to be part of one of his group seminars, to actually be with him one-on-one.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, I really, truly believe that that's the game changer for me. But, you know, I guess at the same time, there were certain things that I wasn't willing to shift in my life, which were giving me fulfillment. So I knew I had my eye on the prize, but I needed to find a different way of getting it. And that's where I met you. So my true belief there was that I want to be working with someone who has done work with Tony one-on-one and has taken their life to the next level. And that's where you've been an absolute huge inspiration for me. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the intention then was, well, who's the next best person? If I can't get one-on-one time with Tony, I get one-on-one time with Christian. So, man, you landed in my inbox, and, you know, I saw how you put yourself out there and what you did with Tony, how you just absolutely been authentic with yourself and with the world, and you changed your life in what it felt like it was overnight, but I'm sure it was a deep journey that you went through. That was the beginning of our 8-week program, and I've transformed my life in the last 8 weeks thanks to you.
Oh, brother. Well, that means the world to me, and you'll never forget, right? I get this, you know, this inbound inquiry through my website from Australia, from Sydney, right? And we have a call set up. I pull over on the side of the road, and we have our strategy session together, right? And I think that, you know, I was hearing there was a different tone in your voice, right? I think there was that knowing that there was a power inside of you, this gift that was ready to be released to the world, but I think you felt like stuck in a way. Tell me a little bit about that, right? Because there is a little resistance now that it seems to be gone, perhaps.
It's disappeared. Yeah, absolutely disappeared. I think for me, if I look at my inner truth and who I am as a being and the person I want to be, it's, you know, what was important for me is to be loving to others and be accepting of others, and to be confident with myself, with me. So it all really started with me. But to your question around, you know, what were the conflicts, and there were, and when I broke it down with your help, it was all around values and rules that we had behind those values. Mm-hmm. But biggest game changer for me was the primary question. Mm-hmm. You know, pulling out that primary question and understanding what, if I look back at 20 years of my life, what's driven every single decision that I've made, it is that goddamn primary question that drove everything for me. So if you look at, you know, the beginning when you first interacted with me, that was because the primary question was still driving me back then.
And for people, so it was almost some people here may not know what this is, and so maybe just give them a little background of maybe what record was going on in the back of your head that was challenging you or not, or maybe holding you back a little bit, and how this relates to the primary question, maybe.
Yeah, man. I mean, for me, so my primary question, what that was, it's almost at the back of my head that's driving every decision, was that how do I get others to like me? It was all around acceptance. Mm-hmm. And that was the biggest handbrake in my life, because it all codependent on others. Yeah. So that's why I wasn't able to be the person that I want to be. So we all help uncovered that was the primary question for me. So basically, everything that I'd done in my life, every decision I'd made, every job I'd done, everything that I do from the moment I wake up to coming home at the end of the day was to do with getting people to like me. And man, when I realized that just wasn't the way of living life, because it wasn't it wasn't allowing me to be who I really want to be, it changed my world. Absolutely changed my world.
Totally.
Where that came from for me, the big event in my life was when, so we grew up in an area called Kashmir up north of India, and there's a lot of conflict between Pakistan and India in terms of there's actually terrorism up there. So my parents packed up and left overnight and served us by helping us bring us into an environment of safety and having just the basics in life. But what that meant was that we came to a country where I got a feeling that at school I wasn't accepted. So that was the moment for me where my primary question came up, why don't people like me? Why is it that I'm being teased at school, or why is it that I'm not the cool kid on the block? Totally. And that just wasn't acceptable for me because I wanted to be accepted. So all my life from the age of 9 till 33 now, or so let's say 12 months ago, was all around doing everything so that I could get people to accept me. But I just realized it just wasn't serving me because it wasn't allowing me to be who I want to be.
Yeah.
So then I flipped that primary question up, and my new primary question is, how do I appreciate more of me? Which has just been an absolute game changer for me. So bringing it back to self-love was the biggest thing for me as a game changer.
Totally. And I relate, right? That was my journey. It was similar, right? What's wrong with me was my primary question. And now it's how can I appreciate and share my unique gifts even more? But what's fascinating is we're both in our 30s, right? And we lived 20 plus years, 25 plus years in that self-imposed prison. And a prison in which we didn't appreciate our greatness, our essence, but we looked outwardly and for it. And in many ways, it empowered us to do great professionally in other areas. But I think you're a perfect example, right? You're a partner in your firm. You have an incredible career. You work with C-level executives and help transform their lives. But you still had this lacking, right? And I mean, how many folks out there in that same kind of position, right? They've achieved the success, they've hit the milestones, but they're left empty inside. And I think you've given people a gift here in sharing that. Actually, it's some programming in the back of the head, and through a process, we can actually flip that. And that's really what I call your authentic truth, right? It's tapping your essence, it's tapping your purpose, it's tapping who you are. So having gone through this journey, what is your purpose? What are you here to do? What is life like now?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So my vision, my purpose is all around being in my authentic power, being confident, being present in any moment that I choose to be, so that I can serve others and help them live a fulfilled life. That for me is absolutely everything. So I've got a very clear mission in mind. Nothing shakes me off that at all. And the most beautiful thing around that is that I have an opportunity to serve millions, and I will be serving millions over my lifespan. Because it comes down to my belief at the end of the day that everyone deserves true fulfillment in life. So how do you help people achieve that? And that's my mission. That's the journey that I'm embarking on now. I'm in the middle of it now.
I love it, brother. Sometimes our beliefs are so strong we lose sight of who we really are, right? And what you've done is you've gone and identified the beliefs that weren't serving you, threw them overboard, tapped into who you really are. What are you fired up on right now? You have your mission purpose, but tangibly, what are some of those next steps that you're engaged in terms of your target?
Yeah, man, absolutely. So the key thing for me is to inspire others. And to inspire others, you've actually got to become inspirational yourself, right? So, which is so beautiful because it gives me an opportunity to go on that journey of growth for myself. That's the only way that I'll be able to serve others. So I've got two big hairy goals for the next 2 years. In 6 months, I'll be publishing a book. And that book is based off the back of really sharing the lives of truly fulfilled people in Australia, but are real people. We're not talking about brands. We're not talking about those that people look at and go, well, I'll never get there. But we're talking about real people to be able to publish their story so that hopefully acts as a vision of inspiration for people to go, you know what, hey, something better exists. Because, you know, when you can visualize it, you can believe it. You know, we're evolved enough to be able to believe, create anything in our mind as a visual, and then we can believe it. But those people that aren't as evolved, this can serve as a mechanism of providing inspiration. My goal in 2 years is to be on the TED speaking circuit. Again, it's an opportunity to inspire people. But you know what? They sound like big, hairy goals, but I'm doing it right now. In every moment. For me, they're not goals that I have to achieve. That's part of my life. That's part of my journey. I won't be ticking off a box when I get there. I'm ticking off the box in every moment of my being every day.
And this is the secret to achievement, right? Is being the change before our external circumstances reflect it, developing the faith and the knowing in your subconscious that this is who you are, instead of what I'm not, it's what I am. Instead of what's not happening, it's everything is happening. And from that place, you get this kind of conviction that you're seeing from Raghav here, in that knowing of what's coming next, right? How would you describe the difference in your emotions and quality of life since 9 weeks ago?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm a 10 out of 10. I can say that hand on heart. Probably before you and I started our sessions, I was probably sitting at around a 6. So within a 2-month period, if I can go from 6 to a 10 out of 10, it is just absolutely magical. It's phenomenal, you know. And I think, my vision now, or the biggest challenge and opportunity that I'm working with right now, is to think that, you know what, why is it that people have to go through divorce, through cancer, through massive adversity in life to really, truly wake up to the opportunity of being fulfilled?
Yes.
So that I think is the more inspirational work that we can do in that space, to really just try and open up the vortex in people's mind to go, you know what, this is not, I don't have to be who I am today. I can be who I really want to be right now and tomorrow. So yeah, I was able to get that in 8 weeks, man. I mean, to context, I don't know if that's answered your question, but we can talk about this till the cows.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge reason why I'm doing this, right? Is for people not to have to hit rock bottom to wake up. I had to hit rock bottom. I had to hit a point of satiation. And sometimes that's what we need. Sometimes we need to go through a ton of pain to wake up and say, enough's enough. I'm ready to change. And for anyone that's watching this, right, if there's just an ounce of greatness inside of you that you know is there, and everyone has this light, but you're going to bed at night unknowing if it's going to shine, like, this is it, you know. Whether it's with me or Tony or other folks, there's a pathway to shed the stuff that's not working for you anymore and tap into your truth so you can direct it towards your destiny. And you know, I'm just so thrilled to see you in that place, right? And to see you on this journey now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it starts with just wanting something different. You know, what you think about what Tony talks about, the question that you ask, rather than why isn't this working, is how can I have this as better? And for me, that was showing up at home and being the father that I want to be to my kids, being the husband that I want to be to my wife, and being the son that I want to be to my parents, and being the brother that I want to be to my brother, and any person that I come into interaction with. And, you know, the core belief there is that the more loving that we are to ourselves, the more loving we can be there for others. And what a beautiful world we'll be living in if we are in that state of love. You know, again, it's everyone's got a beginning and an end in physical life that we live. So why not enjoy it while you've got that opportunity?
Totally, brother. And we're not alone in this, right? Because recently you got to meet some of the other folks involved in the program on one of our tribe calls.
Yeah.
And so, you know, basically having a community. And what's it like being able to engage with other folks that are going through the same stuff?
Yeah, it's deep gratitude for that. You know, at the end of the day, you can accelerate your own growth by being around like-minded people. So having had that opportunity to work with people that are within your network who have also evolved through your program and are living the life that they truly want to live, I think that's a beautiful opportunity. And you help each other accelerate. So it's, deep gratitude for that, man. And
Of course,
I want to be doing more of that stuff.
Our life is a direct reflection of the expectations of our peer group, right? So I'm super fortunate and grateful to work with badass men and women that are decision makers, that decided enough's enough and they're going to step into their truth. They put their money where their mouth is. They put everything on the line to shift into something greater. And when you surround yourself with people like that, there's nothing that relates in terms of that magnetism to grow, that magnetism to be more, and holding each other accountable. So we're just getting started on the tribe stuff. We'll be doing a lot more. But yeah, as we kind of wrap up here, definitely want to be respectful of your weekend.
Mate, I could talk about this for the next 5 hours.
We'll definitely have more opportunities. But I talk to a lot of folks that kind of sit in between the decision, right? That sit in between making a decision to change. And I think as it relates to this program, Your Authentic Truth, and your experience, what feedback do you have for folks that are considering this, that are thinking about it? What might you share with them?
Yeah, and man, that's the most difficult thing, right? Because you feel like everyone can have it, but what differentiates those that actually take the step and those that don't? So I think the feedback that I'd have there is to say there is something better out there. You've just got to give it a go, and you've just got to step into your own truth. And the one piece of advice that I'd say is that close your eyes and think that in 10 years from now, if life is the way it is right now, how do you feel? And if you feel shit, then that's your radar to be able to say, you know what, that's your litmus test to go, I want something better. That's not what I want. And sometimes starting with going, you know what, it's what don't I want? That's actually a starting point. A lot of us, gazillions of people out there that don't actually know what they want, and that's okay. And what I want today might be different to what I want in 2 years' time, and that's also okay. But if you've got a list of things that you can write down and say, this is not what I'm happy about in my life, don't be hard on yourself. Be loving to yourself, but that's your beginning of change. So my advice is get a piece of paper and write down what is it that you could have better in your life, and that's the starting point. And if you come up with a list to say, I've got everything that I want in life, then it's an opportunity for you to serve others and help them achieve the same for themselves.
I love that. And I just want to recognize. Thank you. Well, I want to recognize yours. Here's someone that literally got an email from Tony Robbins that had a video of me in it. Tony did a testimonial. He got on my website, sent me an inquiry. We have a call literally continents apart from each other. And on that call, without ever meeting me, without ever seeing me, made a decision to work together. And on that call, you hesitated for a moment, and you said, "You know what? I kind of want to think about it." And
you called me out on that, and I'm grateful you did.
What I told you is, I'm like, look, whether or not we work together, on the other side of uncertainty is the breakthrough. What you're looking for right now is certainty. And I think that's what so many people are looking for in decision. And you gave up certainty, you embraced faith, and you stepped into uncertainty. And I would certainly call this a breakthrough, going from a 6 to a 10, the clarity of where you're headed. And just so grateful that you made that step, that we've had this wonderful opportunity to work together, and we're just getting started, brother.
I had a list, man. I had a list of how life shouldn't be, but it was at that point, and I wasn't willing to accept it, and that's why I stepped into that uncertainty. And everyone's going to have their different version of uncertainty, and you don't have to go and jump out of an airplane. You've just got to do something that you're feeling a little bit unsure about. Just do it, because on the other side of that, there'll be learning, and you can take that learning and grow yourself.
Well, thank you, brother. Well, I really appreciate your time. Anything else you want to share before we wrap up our live?
Mate, I am looking forward to seeing you in almost 4 weeks' time from now and spending one-on-one time with you. You've been absolutely hugely instrumental to my journey. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you, and I've said this to you many times, but I want to recognize that again. So deep gratitude. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to hopefully share a bit with the wider community as well. And let's just do more, man.
All right. Thank you, everybody on Facebook and anyone
Thanks,
watching
guys.
this. We really appreciate it. Leave any comments, you have any questions, and we're grateful for your attention on this. Thank you.